Coming up on Sports Night.
An interview with one of the Lake Show's star defenders.
Softball travels to Purdue as Big Ten play winds down.
And baseball takes on two in-state foes.
Logan, did you hear that lacrosse all Big Ten honors came out?
I heard 7 of them, including 5 first-teamers.
You know, at this point, we've anchored so much together that I think we're in contention for all first-team Sports Night.
Well, we have one more chance to prove ourselves because it's Sports Night
right now.
Welcome to Sports Night. I'm Logan Schiciano alongside Brea Lassek. And Brea, have you watched any good shows lately?
I have to admit, I don't really watch new shows. I only really watch One Tree Hill.
Well, I do have one recommendation for you. Have you watched The Lake Show?
Have I watched The Lake Show? You know, I can even tell you a little bit more about it right now. Northwestern Lacrosse faced Michigan last Sunday for a chance to capture the Big Ten regular season title. Northwestern took on Michigan in Ann Arbor on Sunday to battle for the Big Ten regular season title. Aaron Kuykendall here fires from up top to tie the game 2-2. What a shot. Now Michigan moves the ball around as Federfall cuts down to the net and scores to make it 3-3. And now Kuykendall again finishing strong through contact here to score her third goal of the game, cutting the Michigan lead to just 1. Izzy Skane there in the last shot dodged to her left and beat a defender. She extends the Northwestern lead to 2. Now Kuykendall scores yet again, lengthening the Wildcat lead. The Cats are on a roll here, but Michigan just keeps firing as well. Cats get another one, and now on the other end, Michigan needs to get something done. Merrifield now from the 3 position. She's lining up here. Cuts in and slides her shot past the Liberty, cutting the Northwestern lead to just 1. Now Kaylee Dyer on the end for Michigan. She finishes her shot to tie the game in a classic thriller between the two sides. Now Dylan Amonte gathers and winds up her shot, taking the Wildcats to the promised land yet again. The Wildcats won the game 13-12. The Lake Show continues in Evanston next week for the Big Ten tournament. And joining us now is senior defender Carleigh Mahoney. Carleigh, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, going back to that Michigan game, and it was just so tight back and forth. What do you think was the difference on the defensive end?
I think that throughout the game we all kind of stuck together and just kept coming back to what we can control, what we can focus on, and regardless of what happened, just kept keeping that energy up was really important.
And Carleigh, you know, not only did you clinch the Big Ten regular season title, but you also clinched the #1 seed in the Big Ten tournament, which is big because it means you have that extra weekend off before playing in the semifinals a week from today, actually. So how big is it, especially at this time in the season, to kind of have those few extra days to reset?
Yeah, it's huge. I think that's the best advantage of winning that game was that we do have this bye weekend, so we could really have some extra time not only to rest, but get better at some things that we want to focus on.
Yeah, another advantage is having the Big Ten tournament in Evanston this year. What's it like playing in front of your home crowd, especially in the postseason?
I am so thrilled to be hosting. This is the first time I've ever been here that it's been hosting, and I think we love our home field advantage. We love hosting. We love playing on our field and just proving that this is our turf. So.
Yeah, and you know, Carleigh, you know this, but the Big Ten is one of the best conferences in the country, and this year especially, you know, so many top teams. Northwestern is going to play the winner of Johns Hopkins and Michigan. Both teams you're pretty familiar with, especially Michigan, playing them 3 times last year and obviously just last week. So what's kind of the mindset heading into that game with those 2 potential opponents?
I think they're both incredible opponents. Like you said, the Big Ten is a really competitive league. I don't think it always gets as much credit as the ACC and other leagues, but they're both gritty, they're both tough. So regardless of who we play, we just got to show up and do our own thing.
And of course, we can't interview you without mentioning your personal accolades as well. Congratulations on second team All Big Ten. What do you think has been the biggest difference between maybe your play last year and to this year?
I think probably my confidence and having my teammates behind me, letting me grow into my role and supporting me in all ways on and off the field. I'm super grateful for them and just the opportunity to be out there. So,
well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Carleigh and the rest of the Cats will next play in the Big Ten tournament in Evanston later this week.
And coming up, we'll head to the softball field. Don't go anywhere.
Trying to work my way out of the prison system was the most difficult challenge of my life. It only became tangible once I became a Northwestern student.
One, two, three, four.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Welcome back to Sports Night. Logan, it's my swan song. It's my last show here. So what do you have cooked up for me?
Hey, I mean, I know that Big Ten softball is really popular right now, so let's talk about that. The Cats are at the top of the Big Ten with only 2 weeks left in the regular season. Coming off dominant stretches at the J, Northwestern softball hit the road for a series with the Purdue Boilermakers. The Cats head to West Lafayette, Indiana for a 3-game showdown against the Boilermakers. By the way, their staff includes former Northwestern catcher Jordan Rudd. How about that? A new addition to that Purdue coaching staff. While Northwestern would not waste any time, Bridget Donahue would bring things to a boil here. A high drive to deep left center and gone. The Cats shortstop extends the lead to 5 in the top of the 3rd inning. But, you know, Donahue, she's going to run around the bases, feeling pretty good about herself, but hey, she was not done yet. Up at bat here again in the 5th. She's going to take this pitch from Olivia Rainey, drives it out to deep left center field again, back at the wall and over the wall again to seal Northwestern's victory here in Game 1. A low-scoring affair in Game 2. But the hero, Kansas Robinson, she grounds one up the middle, plates a run for Northwestern, but it was not enough. The Cats dropped this one 2-1, and you playing from behind once again in Game 3, but Angela Zedak had other plans. She goes the other way for a 3-run homer, tying the game with this late burst in the 6th inning. However, we would go to extras, free softball for the fans out in West Lafayette. Neither team retakes the lead until the 9th when Ayanna Lindsay sends one the other way to put the Cats in front. After 2 more tack-on runs and a shutdown frame by Ashley Miller, the Cats seal the game and the series with a final score of 6-3. The Cats continue to base the Big Ten, sitting atop the conference with a record of 15-2 here in Big Ten play.
After winning its first Big Ten series last weekend versus Maryland, the Cats travel to Champaign to face the Fighting Illini. After winning a series against Maryland, the Cats look to stay hot against the conference-leading Fighting Illini. They strike early here in Game 1. Owen McElpatrick, a huge 2-run shot to give the Cats a first-inning lead. But Illinois ties it up in the third. Camden Yannick, a base knock into left center. Back and forth we go, and the Fighting Illini take the lead in the fourth. Jacob Schroeder here drives in a run. And after that, Illinois would not give the lead back, scoring 2 more runs and taking Game 1 5-3. Let's take it to Game 2 on Saturday. The Illini strike first. Colton Quagliano, a big hit here to get the train rolling for Illinois. And they just keep on piling on. They end up scoring 7 runs, destroying Northwestern. Final score 7-1. But we've still got one more game left. Game 3, close game until the fourth. A 3-run homer off the bat of Connor Milton extends the Illinois lead. Bottom of the 6th, and they blow the game wide open once again. Yannick with a grand slam to put Illinois at 10. They just can't be stopped. But Northwestern not going down easy. Bennett Markinson at the plate, doubling here to give them some late life. Still a wide open score though, it wasn't enough. Illinois outlasts Northwestern again and sweeps them. Northwestern cannot get it done in Champaign.
But the Cats would have an opportunity to get back on track with some midweek action against the Redbirds of Illinois State. They traveled up to Evanston, and we pick things up here with Jack Dyke on the mound. And Shai Robinson drives this one out to left field and over the wall. Illinois State goes up early 1-0. Now it's Northwestern's half. 2 runners in scoring position. Griffin Arnone loops this ball into center field. Markinson scores from third, and Lyolas hustles in from second to make it a 2-1 game for NU. 4-2 now in the top of the fifth. Noah Rabin hits one softly into left, but it's mishandled by Preston Knott, and that one's going to go all the way to the wall, allowing 2 Illinois State runners to score off the error, tying the ballgame up at 4. Just a massive mistake from Knott in left. Northwestern down 1, but Griffin Arnone saves the day. He crushes this off-speed pitch, and that one's over the wall, giving Northwestern the lead. An absolute moonshot. But Shadon Kubo trying to save the day for Illinois State. He grounds this one through the hole, gets it in, allowing that runner to score from third, and this game is tied, but thankfully Northwestern has Trent Lyolas. He lines this one into right field. The ball is caught, but Markinson tags up and scores. NU walks it off and wins the game 7-6, nabbing their 13th win of the season. And for more on Northwestern's baseball team, we're going to go to Anna Watson over in the side studio. Anna.
Thanks, Logan. After a difficult season that ended with the firing of Jim Foster, Northwestern looked in a new direction. First-time head coach Ben Greenspan took over the reins of the struggling program in August. The team has had its ups and downs, but there have certainly been improvements over the year. Through 36 games, the Wildcats have already bested last year's win total. Under Greenspan, the Cats have found themselves at 13-23, while Foster's bunch only rallied 7 wins in the same time frame. Additionally, it took the Cats 13 games to get a win last year, while Greenspan's group started the season with a shutout win at Tulane. One of the aspects of Northwestern's game that has been make or break for them is pitching. The pitching staff struggled to get things going early in the season, but has recently found a rhythm. The Cats have found some much-needed length in arms like senior Matt McClure, who has the lowest ERA on the team and has a co-team high of 3 wins on the season. 2 more guys that have been getting work are Kyle Potoff and Nolan Moore. Potoff is pitching his first season at Northwestern and carries the second lowest ERA. And Moore has been instrumental to the pitching staff this year, starting 12 games this season, more than anyone else on the team. And he's emerged early on this season as their Game 1 guy and has given the Cats some continuity on that front. The team as a whole carries a 7.31 ERA, which is an improvement from last year's 8.53. And home runs are also projected to be down. They are on track to allow 63 this season compared to last season's 82. Overall, improvements have definitely been made in the pitching department. Staying on the defensive side of the ball, the Wildcat defense is almost as good as it can get. Their fielding percentage is sitting at .979, and impressively, Northwestern ranks first in the Big Ten and 12th nationally in that category. When the pitching has been tough, the Cats have had a solid defense as a backup. On the offensive side of things, it looked bleak for Northwestern at the beginning of the season. They lost their 3 best hitters, with 2 heading to other Big Ten rivals. Despite the departures, Northwestern's team batting average is .247, right around where it was last season. The Cats have also been cranking extra base hits. Northwestern is on pace for 46 home runs this season, which is 8 more than last year. Big pieces of the offense include catcher Bennett Markinson and utility man Preston Knott. Markinson entered the season as the best remaining hitter on this Northwestern squad, and he has lived up to the expectations. He's hitting a team-high .336, and he's second on the team in RBIs. Knott has also been a big boost to the lineup as a transfer. He's batting .305 with a .526 slugging percentage. He has 5 home runs and leads the team in on-base percentage. But the player that I think could define the Greenspan era is first-year outfielder Jackson Freeman. Freeman has made an instant impact on the Wildcats in his short tenure in Evanston. The freshman is batting .262 and leads the team in home runs, walks, and slugging percentage. He's added on 26 RBIs and the second highest on-base percentage on the team. Freeman's production and solid defense has made him a staple in this Northwestern lineup. Overall, the start of the Greenspan era has led to numerous improvements in all aspects of Northwestern's game, and they will need to keep turning in a big way to make a push to the Big Ten tournament as the season comes to a close.
Thanks, Anna. You're definitely speaking my language over there, so I appreciate it. Next up, the Cats take over the friendly confines Friday night to kick off a series versus Purdue. NU is 2-0 when playing at Wrigley Field.
And coming up, we'll tell you about the newest member of Northwestern's hoops team and the latest departure from the football team.
I'm Kelly McEvers, founding host of the NPR podcast Embedded.
I'm James Edwards, host of the Unresolved podcast from Frontline.
I'm Antonia Cereijido, former senior producer of Anything for Selena podcast and current executive producer at Elias Studios.
My narrative, since I've been locked up and kind of made my transition, has been like redemption, accountability.
When I come into the classroom environment, every individual that sits amongst me takes education seriously.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Welcome back to Sports Night. You know, Logan, I am getting kind of sad that it's my last show.
I'm sad for you too, but how about we end this one in style?
Oh, okay. Well, you can't get rid of me just yet. We've still got a show to finish.
All right. Well, last weekend, Northwestern's tennis hosted number 70 Indiana and Purdue at the Combe Tennis Center for a pair of head-to-head matchups. Friday's match against the Hoosiers wound up with the Cats losing 4-1. Felix Nordby earned the lone point for NU after a 6-1, 6-1 victory over Nikola Kolyakev. But the Cats rallied on Sunday against the Boilermakers in their final regular season match. Gleb Blecker and Felix Nordby dominated in a 6-1 doubles victory over Juan David Velasquez and Daniel Labrador. Nick Herdoza and Jackson Caldwell also notched a 6-4 win in number 3 doubles. Presley Thieneman excelled in the number 1 spot, earning NU a point off a 6-2, 7-6 win over his opponent. Northwestern concluded the day with a 5-2 victory over Purdue. Earlier today, the Cats took on the number 10 seeded Wisconsin Badgers in their first match of the Big Ten Championships in Evanston. They won the doubles point thanks to a 6-1 win by Thienemann and Grayson Casey and a forfeit win. They also won 2 singles points and picked up a third from another forfeit win. They defeated Wisconsin 4-1 and will play the number 2 seed Michigan tomorrow at 1:30.
Let's take a look at the women's side. The Northwestern women's tennis team hit the road this weekend for a pair of matchups to finish up conference play. They started by squaring off with the 15th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. The Cats got off to a good start with the doubles duos of Sydney Pratt with Nina Feldman and Brittany Lau with Maria Schiciano, both securing wins. But Ohio State asserted their dominance in singles play, winning 4 matches to beat the Cats 4-1. Northwestern then took on Penn State, trying to cap the weekend in their season with a win. The doubles team shined once again as both Lau with Schiciano and Christina Hand with Justine Long snagged a point early. Their wins in singles bouts from Leong, Pratt, and Lau secured the 4-2 victory over the Nittany Lions. Now with a conference record of 9-2, Northwestern sits in 3rd place in the Big Ten. That's good enough for a double bye in the conference tournament beginning next Wednesday.
Also this past weekend, women's golf traveled to Maryland for the Big Ten Championships. The Cats had a successful weekend, finishing in 3rd place overall with 2 golfers finishing in the top 10. Lauren Wynn finished in 4th place and earns a spot on the all-championship team, posting a 5-under par 67 in her first round. Ashley Yun was the other Wildcat to finish in the top 10, posting a total score of 215, which included a 4-under par 68 in her final round. Other strong performances came from Jiayi Wang and Jenny Lee Yi, who each finished on the top 25. On Wednesday, it was announced that Northwestern was selected to the NCAA East Lansing Regional as the number 2 seed. Play will begin on May 6th.
Northwestern's men's golf battled at the Fighting Illini Spring Collegiate last weekend in Urbana. The Cats finished behind Illinois, Michigan State, and Michigan for 4th place out of 12 teams. Daniel Savard led Northwestern's charge, finishing 5th overall, powered by a 2-under par second round 69, the best round by a Wildcat the entire weekend. That was Savard's team leading 10th round in the 60s this season. Cameron Adam and James LeMay also played well, both securing top 15 finishes, with Adam finishing his 3 rounds 7 over, with LeMay 1 shot worse at 8 over. Ethan Tseng finished 36th and Chris Zhang 50th as the Wildcats struggled to make a charge at a podium finish. Niall Shields Donegan, Jeremy Chen, and Akshay Anand all competed as individuals, placing tied for 22nd, 57th, and 64th respectively. The Cats will be back in action at Schiciano Golf Club April 26th through April 28th for the Big Ten Championships in Columbus, Ohio.
Northwestern basketball dipped into the transfer portal earlier this week, announcing the commitment of guard Jalen Leach. Leach comes to Evanston following a terrific senior campaign with Fairfield. He averaged 16.2 points, just over 4 assists, and 3 rebounds per game. The Nyack, New York native was named first-team All-MAC last season, shooting an impressive 35.4% from 3. Leach is expected to boost Northwestern's backcourt, with Boo Buie and Ryan Langborg both graduated. Northwestern could still add to next year's roster. The Cats welcomed Stetson grad transfer Jalen Blackman to campus for a visit earlier this spring. But as one comes, another one goes. Junior quarterback Brendan Sullivan announced on social media Tuesday that he's entered the transfer portal. Sullivan started several games last season while Ben Bryant was out with injury. He finished his Northwestern career with 10 touchdown passes and over 1,300 passing yards. With Bryant graduating, Sullivan was in the running to start 2024 under center for the Cats. Now, David Braun could tap rising sophomore Jack Lausch, who is splitting time with Sullivan in spring ball, or look for another quarterback in the transfer portal.
Now let's see when you can catch the Cats.
Baseball takes the field tomorrow at 7 to face the Purdue Boilermakers.
Rocky and Bernice Miller Park will host Purdue once again Saturday afternoon for Game 2.
And next Thursday, Lacrosse battles an opponent to be announced in the Big Ten tournament.
We're not done just yet. Stick around because Plays of the Week are coming up next.
I'm Carleigh McEvers, founding host of the NPR podcast Embedded.
I'm James Edwards, host of the Unresolved podcast from Frontline.
I'm Antonia Cereijido, former senior producer of Anything for Selena podcast and current executive producer at LAS Studios.
My narrative, since I've been locked up and kind of made my transition, has been like redemption, accountability.
When I come into the classroom environment, every individual that sits amongst me takes education seriously.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Welcome back to Sports Night. Logan, what do you say we finish this thing out strong?
Hey, it's time for Plays of the Week. Let's run it. At number 3, Northwestern taking on Purdue in softball, and Angela Zedak drives that one over the right field wall. A huge home run to get NU back into that game over the weekend. How about that one for Zedak? She continues her stellar graduate student campaign, and her teammates are fired up.
And at number 2, we go to the other diamond sport, midweek versus Illinois State. Trent Leolis hits it out. And here comes the walk-off. Markinson comes home to score, and he's safe. Baseball walks it off.
Well, baseball was pretty nice, but this goal was even better in the Northwestern-Michigan lacrosse game. Game tied, but not anymore. Dylan Amonte rifles that one into the back of the net. Massive goal for the Cats. They clinch the Big Ten regular season title. Well, Brea, I feel that time has come. I fear it has come.
You're right, Logan. Here we go. For the last time, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at NNN Sports and on Twitter at NNN_sports. For Logan Schiciano, I'm Brea Lassek. Have a great night and go Cats.
It's a little rocky, but
something. That was a show.